fair use. We just want to show a part of it real quick.
His latest high-profile voice speaking out about helping Black America rapper, actor, director Ice Cube. Ice Cube, great to see you this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. May I call you Cube?
May I call you Cube? She started off with, you know, what is the proper way of addressing a king? Let me start off with the proper way of addressing a king. May I first, how would you like to be addressed, Cube? Can I call you Cube?
I'm a Cube.
Thank you so much, Cube. So you had a contract with Black America indicating different things that you want to see in terms of opportunities. You tried to work with the Trump administration. You also tried to work with the Democrats. President Trump responded. Can you tell us what happened?
After the death of George Floyd, I saw a lot of activity, a lot of people talking about, police reform, criminal justice reform. Not too many people talking about financial reform. And the reason I came on your show was because I knew that I'd be talking to the financial leaders in this country. And, the fact that Black people, make up 13% of this country, but we're living off of, 0.5% of the wealth, not even a percentage point of the wealth in this country, should let everybody know. That should alarm everybody, and everybody should know that that's not sustainable. So that's the reason why, after coming out with the contract with Black America, I really went hard at both campaigns to see what they were going to do financially for the Black community specifically. So that was the quest.
President Trump is talking about extending lending. He's talking about.
Trying to get the chat.
Yeah, and I'm trying to. I'm trying
you want to be able to view it here?
Yeah.
$40 billion in new lending, and then that times 10 in order to allow the Black community to create businesses, start up business. Did you help him with his platinum plan in terms of that item, helping Black America create business?
Now notice she asked him the content of the plan. What are you doing politically to help Black people? Now this is the white woman, folks. He outright told her this plan isn't for you. We're coming to y'all to present a plan because only Black people only benefit from less than 1% of the wealth generated in America. Right? I need y'all to check this out. Now, shouldn't they have treated him like this? Fix that, please.
Tried to do was emphasize that, we've been under a smoke cloud of words like minority, people of color, diversity, urban, all these trick words that really puts us under all of America. We only get 2% of those programs. So I wanted to basically tell the administration that, look, Black people have paid an enormous debt.
Let's go do more.
It's financially.
Of course.
Yeah, I love reminding people that it's not the role of the media to endorse candidates.
Yeah.
It's absolutely financial. And, you heard Candace Owens as we led into this segment.
Listen, she said in your condition is absolutely financial. Now, I'm not going to put this up to make it this, that, or the other, right? And say, this is not me pitting saying that, because I know people are going to look at it in its simplest form and is going to claim, and through simplicity, this is saying that the white woman is better than the Black woman. No, it don't have nothing to do with that. I'm speaking solely of the respect factor. She respected the fact that she's speaking to an accomplished Black man who had to work to get to where he is. And she's treating him as such. I just wanted to show you that as an example. She was totally respectful to this brother and his accomplishments throughout the whole interview. Wanted to put that out there. Elder Lawya, let's end it with scriptures and then now open up the calls. 515-605-9327. Let's go there. 1 Timothy 2:12. Let's read that.
1 Timothy chapter 2, verse number 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve.
Read that again.
But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression.
And the woman being deceived was in the transgression. It was through that sin of Eve that led to eventually the spirit of disobedience operating in women. And it's up to the men to call it out, highlight it, and help women correct this behavior by first identifying what that behavior is. What spirit is it? The spirit of disobedience. Jezebel and succubus. They also present themselves with an alter ego. They don't present themselves as dad and mom made them. Okay, now, Elder Lawya, 1 Corinthians 14:35. Read that. Matter of fact, 14. Now here's the message for the churches. Now in the world, a woman can do anything she would like to do. The Babylonian system engineers feminism. Engineer women with feminism. And that engineering, what comes out on the other end of the conveyor belt, you got it. Jezebels and succubuses. But there's order in the church. So to prove that Christian churches have been totally overran, let's see if the Christian church we grew up in, you grew up in, follow this New Testament passage for correction. These are the only ways that a church or one in power can correct those particular spirits. 1 Corinthians 14:33. Read it.
Yes, sir. 1 Corinthians chapter 14.
14:33, yes.
It says, and the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets.
The spirits of the prophets are subjected to the prophets. Now, mind you, folks, you all know that it was the spirit of who? Jezebel, who put out a hit on the prophets. These were black men being sought after to be murdered and killed because it was only these men who could oppose their God. Satan, Baal, sets up women to be deities. Okay? That's feminism. And on the holidays, they are celebrated under the spirit of matriarchy. That's Jezebel. This is what happens to us every Christmas, every Easter. We're being emasculated by women. Satan set it up that way. Okay? Read on.
Verse 33. For God is not the author of confusion.
For God is not the author of confusion. Read.
But of peace.
But of peace. Read.
As in all the churches of the saints.
Come on.
Let your woman keep silence in the churches.
Let your woman keep silence in the churches. That's right. God using Christ and the disciples to get this earth back together in its proper order before Eve sinned. So this is the spirit that Christ left with the disciples. Let your woman learn in silence. And this is why other women who claim to be Christians today, the Jezebels and the succubuses, look back and say, well, those were Bible days. Time have changed how God thinks now.
Right.
Time done changed. That was old time. This is a whole new generation and a whole new time. So that stuff was back then. We're going to do whatever we want now. God be, and you know what word they use at the end. Okay. Read on, Elder Lawyer.
Verse number 34.
Come on.
Let your woman keep silence in the churches.
Now, that's not abuse. She's learning. Because now in the church, she must, you got it, be born again, be retaught what it means to be a virtuous woman. She don't learn that on the outside. She learned to oppose man, to oppose God up until the time of age. And when she began to reason, not understanding the conflict between her belief in God and the nature she's been taught. So women come to that realization. Like, I want to believe in God. I love God, but I'm conflicting. I'm fighting with something else in me. Our upbringing. Your upbringing said that you should be free to be anything you would like, equal to a man. You should be able to do the things men do and not be ostracized or shamed for it. I should be able to put on anything I want and men should accept me where I am. The world told you that. But no, when you come to the church, the Most High is beginning to rebuild that woman and make you the woman, the daughter he foreseen, that he hoped for in this earth, as an example of Sarah. Virtuous, kind, agreeable. That's what God seen for you. Satan was like, no. Do as thou wilt. Sleep with as many people as you want. Be equal to a man. Walk in the spirit of a hermaphrodite. Operating like a man in a woman's body. But when you come to the church, nah. Sister, it's time to learn humility. That was the position of the church, to bring order. Read.
Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak.
Go on.
But they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law.
Now, why did it say it's not permitted for them to speak? It's not saying shut up. There were women exercising the spirit of Jezebel in the churches, like what we see today. And you wonder why the churches are filled with women, no men to be found anywhere. You don't get it yet, huh? That's what happens when you have a church ran by Jezebels. The men leave. Because now you're saying that God is justifying this backward behavior. See? You've turned the house of God into temples of Baal. And it's our position as teachers and prophets and bearers of the word to set this whole thing in order according to the Almighty. So I hope you have some clear understandings now concerning the spirit of Jezebel. Like we must overcome the sins in the flesh being men, women now can identify the spirit that keeps them from becoming the complete daughter of Zion they was born to be. Okay? So it's in the spirit of love and in correction that we're going into this. It's not a personal attack against anyone. The question is, what woman, after hearing us break this down from the beginning to the end, would deem this teaching woman bashing? What woman now would say it's woman bashing? Would say it's because we have a problem with women? When the only thing that has come out is the proper order according to God, and how we can identify the evils that have always taken sisters, that have always destroyed sisters. Okay? So the question is, do you more so enjoy the temple pleasures of being Jezebel and succubus? Or will you choose eternal life by saving that daughter of Zion and separating yourself from those those alter egos. Hold up, phone call. Here we go. We're not going to be long. Just want to go in real quick. And before I open up the calls, I would like to say what week we are in the Hebrew and Bible Academy, Elder Lawya.
This is week number, I want to say 4.
Week number 4, and we're going into the promises of Abraham and identifying the nations in the earth. How would we believe and the God we serve under our belief system is greater than any other belief system taught in any religion on earth. What separates what the Hebrews, what the Israelites teach, and our promise from the Gentile nations. And then we're going to go into the deception that came with the Jesuits' teaching of a replacement theology. That the Most High did away with us as a people only to replace us with Gentiles. And they try to claim that that's tied to teaching salvation when really it's deception. We are the children of Abraham who will soon receive the promises of Abraham. And we're going to prove that tomorrow in our lesson. The promises of Abraham. And you know we're going to bring out, that's right, Ishmael, our evil big brother, who's the Arabs. And we're going to bring out Esau, the evil twin who turned against us. Okay, we're going to go into that. And then on top of that, we're going to show those that will be saved out of Israel and receive the promise, and those who will be saved out of the Gentiles and benefit from us receiving the promise. So there's hope for the Gentiles. But the question lies, will they humble themselves to receive the benefits of us getting the promise? From us getting the promise. Because their salvation and promise comes through us, brothers and sisters, all the Gentiles. They don't want to admit it. They want to jump right over us and say, well, I got to believe in Christ. Well, you got to believe in the truth of Christ and those he sent to teach of him. It's going to be a great lesson tomorrow if you're interested. We're only a quarter way in. We'll give you all the past lessons and allow you to come all the way through for the remainder 2 months, because we have COVID news, a lot of things going on that you would like to be, that I know you don't want to miss. And on top of that, we have, you got it. You can put this on your library shelf. Once you finish the academy, you can also purchase separately each week a combination of all of our videos of the academy, you brothers and sisters. You can have it now. So if the internet goes down, whatever the case is, you can put this into your computer, your DVD, and follow the lessons even beyond when the internet crashes, whatever the case is. And we have this for you. A combination of a 12-volume set. Okay? historytimes.org. Okay? And the finances we get, we put it into the work. Okay? Now, historytimes.org. Now, let's open up the calls. And I want to, in particular, hear from the sisters. In particular. All right? One moment. Okay, we're live on Blog Talk. Make sure, brothers and sisters, there's nothing playing. The broadcast isn't playing in the background. Jezebel, okay? The woman from hell is what we went into. And I want to ask you, sisters, right out, what did you take from this particular lesson? Did you take it as a reprimand, an attack, or an eye-opener? And let's open up the lines. 515-609. It's 515-605-9327. The number is on your. It's on your. On your visual here, on your screen. Let's start with 831. Jezebel, the woman from hell. You're live. Shalom. Yes, you're live. Give us your name and location and what you have. Talk to us. You there? Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're live. Let me hear from you. I didn't hear anything.
Good. I was thinking about what you were saying, and
One second, folks. We're going to use a different, because somehow there's technical issues. And if it doesn't work, if there's some technical issues with the sound, I'm not going to fight with this for the next few hours. What we'll do is we'll pick it up this coming Wednesday or Tuesday. So we're going to try it once more. And if it doesn't work, don't worry about it. We'll pick it up. We'll pick it up next week, this coming week. One moment.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host PIN when now.
dressed up and she'd be like, yeah, I'm about to go out, about to have fun. And I didn't like that.
Hey,
So,
hey.
like, why is it that they're more confident now that they have this?
Hey, sister, I'm here with you, right? We had to go off. I'm sorry if you've been going all that time. We had to go off and call you from a different line. Okay, so real quick, I need to know straight out, Jezebel, the woman from hell. What did you take from this particular lesson that can be applied? Is what I would like to know. First, with your name, and also your location, and then you can give us your insight.
I guess it would be a little harder for me to answer that one because I wasn't here for the whole lesson because today I had a doctor's appointment for my daughter.
Okay.
I accidentally smashed her finger in the door.
Oh,
to
this.
get that checked.
Well, sister, this is what we're gonna do. No, sister. What we're gonna do, sister. Okay, I'm sorry. We're gonna place you on hold, and I need someone on the line who have actually listened to the broadcast. We'll come back with you later, sister. I really need people to chime in because we have to edify and not throw this off someplace else. I need to know that what's taught is resonating and will help brothers and sisters navigate through people going forward, knowing who to avoid and who to protect our sons and daughters from. 917 area code.
Hello?
Shalom, you're live. Your name and location and what you have on the topic.
Hello, my name is Sister Edith from New York. And I thank you for addressing this spirit because even before I got into the truth of the spirit, I have been studying and researching, as a woman because this is the spirit that has been doing a lot of destruction in our community. And I thank the Most High for you addressing the spirit, especially today because the last 2 weeks I've been studying the books of Kings and the book of Chronicles, studying the history of our forefathers, and especially what Jezebel had done to our community. But the thing is, there's a spirit that is stronger than the spirit of Jezebel, because while Jezebel was in Israel destroying the prophets, there was Atalia, who was in Judah, and if she was trying to destroy the seed of Judah, the princess of Judah. And she almost got away with it because she killed all the princes but just one, her grandson. And I never heard people addressing this spirit, because she even ruled in Judah for like over 7 years, and the men could not do anything against her. And this spirit has been in our community, and especially like in the community that I was up, I know that there's a lot of men who got married to the spirits, like literally, having big wedding with those spirits, and they have days for them, especially also the spirit of Succubus. So they all work together.
All right, brother. All right, sister, I need you to round it up because I'm trying to quantify it in a way in which it can edify for the people. So what we want we want edifying content with a conclusion, not just random thoughts. You with me?
Yeah. That's why I think that, yeah, I hear you. So the woman has to really take good notice of this spirit and really study them and see how, this spirit are not manifested in their lives. Because you might be, thinking that you are a good woman, but if the spirit takes control of you, you will destroy your family. Not only your family, but you'll destroy your whole community, and you're still thinking that you are helping,
Well, thank you, sister. Great point. And what she said at the end was important. Listen, all due respect, we already went to the scriptures and the story narrative. What we're trying to understand now on what has resonated from this lesson. What did you realize that you didn't realize before? Because obviously there have been no opposition in our community against it. We can recognize it, but now you have the scriptures to understand it. What? Okay? Let's edify. No random thoughts, please. Let's quantify and edify so that when young ladies listen to this, they're able to learn, articulate, take something from it so that they don't make the mistakes that, the women that raised them made, the women that they witnessed in the communities made. Okay? 256 area code, 813 area code.
Hello, elders. This is Miss Black. I'm calling from Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I was just wanting to say that I'm really glad that you all spoke on this topic today, because I realized that, sad to say that when I was growing up, I had at one time been that Jezebel. And as I've come into the truth and I realized what was going on and I learned better, I pushed myself, I had to do better for my children. And I see that Jezebel spirit with my daughter. And I am fighting with this, and I tell her, and it's wonderful, and she's watching. I'm so glad that you brought this up so that she can see exactly what I've been telling her that I see. When she pays to go out and spend all this money on her hair, she becomes a totally different person. And our relationship is really hurt with that. And also, I see a Jezebel spirit in a young lady that I'm glad for my grandson, but the mother. And she can be nice, but there's another side, and there's some things that have happened, some things that she did to kind of make herself look male.
Hey, sister, I need an interaction before you digress into something else so that we can actually drive home the important parts.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, but these things I have been able to bring to my children's attention because these things are out there. Hey, sister, those two spirits.
Hey, sister, I'm listening.
That cater to the male.
Yeah, sister, but all right. Do you hear me? Do you hear me right now or no? Okay, there's feedback. All right. I had to turn it down because there was some distortion and they couldn't hear you clearly. So let's start with here. You said that you found yourself, in hindsight, being controlled by the Jezebel spirit. Now, that's really broad without emphasizing what exactly is that. What were you doing that now we can equate to the Jezebel and the succubus that was identified in the lesson today? But because by just saying I was doing that isn't highlighting the activity that comes with it. So when you said that you were Jezebel and you were under that spirit and succubus, what exactly, give us some examples of your life that patterned Jezebel.
Well, I knew how to dress myself up, how to make myself look a certain way to attract men, to get them to do what I pretty much wanted them to do, to get whatever it was that I felt like I wanted from them at that time.
Okay, now let's stop right there. Hold up. Let's stop there. Because not too many times we hear a woman come straight out and tell the truth concerning this. Let me get your name again, sister.
Miss Black.
Miss Black. Okay, I don't know if that's anonymous or what. That's your real name?
Yeah, my last name is Black.
Okay, all right. I'm black too. All right, let's deal with it here, right? So you said that you would get dressed up with the full intentions of capturing a man to get him to do what you wanted him to do. You could make him a slave to you by your outward appearance.
Yes, and it wasn't set on one individual. I mean, I would go out to the clubs and, you know...
Hey, sister, are you on the speaker? Because you sound like you're far away, and I'm trying to balance this because it's a good call. But I'm still trying to struggle with the volume. Okay, I need you to get off of the speaker.
Is that better?
Yes. No more speakers, please. If y'all call in, no speakers because it's not good for broadcasting. Okay? Now, let's just deal with it. So you said you would not just do this for one man, but go on. Hello? All right, I have to go to the next call. Sorry. But in a nutshell, what we did receive from that, for those who missed it, that she said she realized that she were operating, this sister, Miss Black, in the spirit of Jezebel. And she taught her daughters to do so. But now she's trying to correct the behavior that came with the daughter watching mom act out. See that? So we think the children aren't looking or listening, right? But she learned to become Jezebel watching mom. Now mom is seeing herself through her daughter and can't stand it. Now the daughter is spending all of her money and all of her time just to get here or different fashions of here, because they're taught in our society now that the way you look can be your path to wealth and prosperity. This is the way you're going to get yourself a basketball player or someone of high value to take care of you. So she spent all this money on hair, right? Now, when she began to spend all her money on hair, this happens.
Thank you so much. I'm so sorry I'm late.
You ever had a dream? One you'd be willing to do anything for? Wow. Hey, man. How's work?
Are you still interning for that lady?
Executive assistant. Anna, music people have certain expectations, and my girls need to flow freely. Who does your hair? No one? Me? How don't you much higher than all the stares you get. You want to be one of my girls? Yes. He's came all the way from India? Forget about where it's from. Let's focus on where it's going. You're not tender-headed, are you? I'll be fine. Clients swear this stuff is magic. Wow. How's it feel? People look at you and they see somebody else, and somehow you become more of yourself. I can't fault you for doing whatever it takes to get where they keep trying to keep us from getting. In a perfect world, a woman would be able to wear her hair the way she wants to. A moss-haired girl. She see trees covered in black moss and made herself a wig. Maybe the hair in the tree was enchanted.
It's fun to think about.
Something bad has happened. Wants to take over us.
Look, I cannot die today, okay? I've been touched like 15 years. Hey, girl. Damn, that took a turn.
Boy, I tell you the truth. Every day in our community is Halloween. Next call. Let's get the next call now.
Hey, check it out.
Yeah.
When we put that video out talking about India and showing the temples, we got pushback. Now they just throwing it out as a matter of fact.
Exactly. When we were, don't forget this trailer. Lawyer sent me to this trailer to me. What, the day before yesterday, or the lawyer?
A few days ago. Yes, sir.
And we were talking about the spirits in India that they pray into the hair and all that. That's messing our sisters up. That the agents are bringing over here to actually drive our women crazy. And guess what? We had to do a makeup show, another show to bring a sister on to let us know how much that offended our sisters. And they coming right out with it now. Next call. So here it is. She said her daughter is infatuated with all this hair. She put all her money into it. Her daughter is under a spell of Jezebel. And guess what? The men don't like it at all. To be straight with it, it doesn't smell good. It isn't healthy. It's defiling your temple. Men don't like it. 470 area code. It's the craft.
Shalom, all elders.
Shalom. Let's talk.
My name is Sister T. I'm from the Florida body. I was calling in to say the lesson is great because it enlightened me even the more. Because in the Christian church, they describe a Jezebel with just makeup and jewelry on. And I'm not a jewelry person, no way. I just like to wear my earrings, so I couldn't even wear my earrings. And they said that also a brazen person is a woman that talks all the time. So quiet in the church, didn't say nothing too much, but all this was an eye-opening for me. I always dressed appropriate, never liked to show my body, and I was told in the church, you don't have to dress like that. You can bring your dress up a little bit above your knees. And I was like, no, I'm not comfortable. I'm okay. And I mean, these are deacons and brothers in the church. So I was looking at all of this and I was saying, no, because I didn't even bring my daughters up like that, you know. So I was always protective of this body because it was always told me that's your body and you have to be protected of it. Nobody else is going to do you like you do your body. So that was something that I was taught coming up. So, and I maintained that. And I'm older, and I still dress that way. I have no problem.
All praise be to the Most High. And thank you, sister. Good point. I'm going to place you on hold. Thank you, sister. And she would taught, see, the churches hide the fact that it's ran by Jezebels by minimizing or not highlighting who Jezebel was. Or you would realize the churches are filled with it. It's the I hate man spirit. I can say anything about a man, but how dare you say anything about women? This spirit hates prophets because prophets can see them. So Jezebel looked to kill all of them. And the Most High at the end sent a war in which he ordered the prophets and the warriors to feed Jezebel to the dogs. But the spirit remained in the earth to a degree that Christ had to warn the churches about her. She'll come in, she'll talk, she'll kill busybodies, she'll go house to house, and she looked to usurp houses. With no example of a righteous woman when it comes to viewing her family and her legacy. See? You can identify the spirit. The spirit of Jezebel orchestrates heresies against the men of God. When they're online, they're talking against men about men. They want to let everyone know that they know just as much as men do. They recruit men, and the modern term of the men they recruit are the modern term is simps. They recruit men as infantry to carry out their war. So they use men as pawns against the men that threatens them, who can identify them. Okay? Now, let's go down the line. 346 area code. 813 area code, then 346. Shalom. You're live. The lesson Jezebel from Hell today. You're live.
Shalom, elders.
Shalom. Talk to us.
My name is Kimberly Douglas from the Florida body, and I too, like many women, was dealing with the Jezebel spirit. But what I gained from this broadcast the most is not to allow these Jezebels to think that they represent the real daughters of Zion, the real queens of the Most High.
I understand, but let's talk about you, sister. Let's not talk about what they're going to do, right? You said you once walked in the spirit of Jezebel.
Yes.
Okay, identify that. What you do? What did you do?
When I was younger, I used to dress provocatively. I'm more so like sheer clothing, so I didn't wear like really stuff with cleavage or short stuff, but I did wear sheer clothing, like future clothing. And also, I don't know.
Hey, sister, your phone. Are you on a speaker?
No, I'm not on the speaker.
Hold on, let me see if I can do something different because I don't know what's going on with some of these calls. One moment. All right, say something now.
Do I sound better?
Yeah, I'll play you from here. They'll hear you from here. Go on. Go ahead.
Okay. So, I was also dealing with the spirit of bisexuality, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it. So
yes, it does.
Being an older woman that's not married or with any children, it's like I'm really not sure where, I'm fit in or how I'm supposed to, do my part. But like I said, I'm trying to let these Jezebels know that they don't represent us in any shape, form, or fashion.
Okay, let's not talk about them. Let's talk about you. You said also that you were dealing with the spirit of that's what we want to highlight because that's also a spirit of Jezebel. Because a lot of women get with women. You have a lot of lesbians who will calculate to get next to a woman, to be there to cushion her fall after being hurt by men. It's usually at the end of the day, it's a rally against the man. It's a clear statement that I would rather deal with a woman of the same sex before dealing with the man because I hate him so. And in our community, lesbians, even with babies, to prove that they once loved men, are turned into women in defiance in sheer defiance. Is this what happened to you?
Yeah, yes, come on, Elder. Come on.
So you was hurt by a man, and where did the lesbian show up at?
She actually I went to school with her. Yes, I was actually hurt by family members, but I went to school with this particular female.
Sister, you totally confused me. You says you were by family members. I don't know what that means. What do you say?
Oh, sexually abused by family members.
Okay, so you're saying is that action or that inordinate spirit came in through sexual abuse?
Right.
I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, so at a younger age, someone did something to you. Was it a female?
No, they were both males.
And through that, you developed an inordinate affection that led to promiscuity, and it opened you to spirits, even succubus and Jezebel, in which you began to deal with bisexual or just freely give your body to anyone.
Come on,
Sister, I mean, first of all, I'm sorry all that happened to you. Second of all, it takes sheer courage to talk about it, because usually people in that community won't admit that their actions was a subject of abuse, and try to hide it by claiming that they were born that way, actually, believe it or not, protecting the perpetrators who continue to destroy our families. How old were you when you began to realize it was all wrong and begin to turn back to the Almighty? How old were you?
I was, I'd say, early teens, around about 15, 16 years old. But I also abused a child before I realized that, I had a problem.
When you said you abused a child, what do you mean by that?
Yes.
What do you mean by that? Okay.
I had
hold up now. So usually abused people abuse others. Are you saying that
right.
it led to you doing what was done to you?
Elder.
Was it a young lady or a young man? Who was it? What was it?
A young man.
Okay. All right. And of course you have repented from that, of course, and you're now on the road to recovery, to warn others concerning this spirit of abuse and Jezebel and succubus.
Elder.
Well, sister, thank you for coming out and being so honest. I appreciate it. We're going to go to the next call, but I'm glad because so many of our brothers and sisters need to hear what we've been hiding for years in our communities. We've been hiding this, and our children are suffering for it. Thank you, sister. I appreciate your call.
Bless you, Elder. Thank you for allowing me to come on.
Thank you. Bless you. Woo! I'll tell you. See, but this is why Christ said, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Repent and be baptized for the remission of sins. All right? Hold on, we're going to go to the next call. One moment. You see this? Mm-hmm. All right. Let's go to. We're gonna just take a few more calls and one moment. Few more calls. Jezebel, the woman from hell. Let's talk about it. Okay, let's get to the next call here. Let's see. 317 area code. Shalom, you're live. Shalom, you're live with the Gathering of Christ Church.
Shalom.
You're live with the Gathering of Christ Church. You're live.
Hello?
Yes, you're live.
I was just calling. My name is Jay from Indianapolis.
Okay.
And honestly seeing how I'm still struggling and battling with the spirits when I thought I wasn't. It's a lot of different aspects of the spirit. We talked about the makeup and the hair, but you know, you feel the spirit of the Most High in you, but you also battle with that Jezebel spirit. You have people around you that encourage that spirit. For instance, you know, I wear my hair natural. I've been having a lot of my girlfriends tell me who wear hair weave, you need to do something with your hair. So then I start feeling insecure because I'm not around anyone else like me. And I take a look at myself, and now I don't see that. So recently I got a hair weave, and I'm battling with that because the Most High Spirit within me is telling me, be yourself, love what I've given you. But I continue to look at other people and think their hair is tamed and mine isn't. And that's just a small aspect. And what I wanted to know from you, Elder, is how to defeat this spirit.
Well, good. Sister, let me get your name again.
Okay.
All right, first of all, there's a few things that have to be corrected, all right? The first thing that have to be corrected with you thinking that something is wrong with your hair, okay? The whole deal is, sister, you have to put more time and care into your hair. That's what you must do. There's nothing wrong with your hair. It's just that because of its course, women have to put more time into it. Okay? That's what's going on. The women that's telling you need to do something about that is not because they're looking at your hair and believe something is wrong. They're insecure. They're the weak ones. And every time you are around them, it's highlighting their weakness. So they must break you down to a degree in which you're going to put something on your head that's going to block your neural senses and cause diseases on top of your head. It's not healthy long term, and it's bad for you. And it's not them speaking in particular. It's succubus. It's Jezebel. You got to do something about that, girl.
Absolutely.
No, you have to be strong enough to look at them and say, sister, listen, be strong enough. How do you overcome it? You have to be strong enough to stand with God. And you have to put them in a place in which they're uncomfortable talking to you like this. Okay? Like, no, I'm good.
Okay. And you're right, because I get a lot of compliments on my natural hair as well. So it's really the people I probably need to cut out of my life.
Sister, you don't have to cut.
I understand.
Sister, you don't have to cut them out of your life. It seems like, and that's another thing I see with sisters. It seems like they just want to rip off the Band-Aid. It's either left or right. No. You set a standard because those friends may have benefits in being friends, but that part of them is what? Dysfunctional. So what you have to do is you have to set a standard, barriers on how far they can go when it comes to their criticism of you. No. Listen, you're going into some shaky territory there. No, you're not to tell me what to do with my hair. And guess what? I'm not going to tell you what to do with yours.
Okay. Well, I thank you, and I thank you guys for all the work that you do.
Well, sister, don't let anyone tell you that something is wrong with your hair compared to other people. Of course, there's a transition you have to go through to make your hair healthy. There's YouTube videos that you can actually look to where women start off rough, but at the end of it, I'm going to tell you, all day long, 100 times out of 100, a man wants a woman with natural hair over a woman that wear weave. You ask any man and they'll tell you that. Don't listen to these women.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to a man. Talk to a man. A man will tell you. The man will tell you it's unclean. It's messy. Talk to a man. Okay?
Right. And us speaking about this spirit itself and this lesson, it was great. It was great for today because I learned so much, not just with the makeup and the hair, but how sneaky this spirit is and how I didn't identify some things that now I can see as well. I'm not dealing, talking about anyone else. I'm talking about within myself that I need to work on because I'm trying to get right with the Most High and live my life right. But sometimes you don't know things, and you help me to identify some things that I didn't realize what they were.
Well, thank you, sister. And all praise be to the Most High. And I'm sure you're going to take this information, this truth, and it's going to empower you to stand as a daughter of Zion. Don't let the world weaken you. Don't acquiesce to that.
Thank you so much.
Listen, sister, you show your power. You show the brothers and sisters out there that, listen, you can be how God made you and be accepted. And if that's not good enough, guess what? They're not good enough. Okay? Bless you, sister.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Let's go down the line. 346 area code. Shalom. You're live with the Gathering of Christ Church.
Hello.
Jezebel, the woman from hell. Who's this?
You wanted a woman's perspective.
And brother, and I'm going to, all due respect, and I'm going to get a woman's perspective. Hold on tight. I don't mean to disrespect you, but we have limited calls, and sisters have been asking me to do this broadcast. So hold tight, brother, and I'm going to get your perspective last. If you're patient, okay? I have you. All right? 703 area code. You have something, Lawya?
I have something.
Okay. 703 area code. You're live with the Gathering of Christ Church. Okay. No one's there? We got it.
Hello?
Okay, you can control that for me if you don't mind, Lawya.
Hello?
703 area code.
Hello?
Your name, and let me also get your age. That's important also. Your name and age.
Okay, my name is Angel, and I'm 29 years old.
All right, what you got, sister? Talk to us. Shalom.
So this Shalom, and I'm also in the academy, and I love it, and I can't wait till tomorrow. But I wanted to say that with the music, that a lot of that spirit is in it, and I even feel myself being affected by it, and throughout my life too. Hip hop and some of the female rappers. Like I have to protect my gates because I can feel that Jezebel spirit coming through. Like in some of the lyrics, they're very demeaning towards men and saying just use them and get what you need out of them and go. So I definitely relate to this message because God doesn't, God doesn't want that spirit running rampant throughout the community because, like you were saying, it really does. It's an attack, and it can affect families. So luckily, I don't have a family yet, but I know that I'm staying away from all content that could possibly disrupt my spirit and affect it.
Well, sister, that's correct. But when you look out in the community, those that are listening to this music, women who are getting influenced through this woman empowerment, be honest. And in particular, Judah. Let's talk about Judah today, the black woman. Are we winning? are we winning or losing? With all this empowerment stuff.
We're losing terribly.
Losing terribly. Say that again. Okay, I'm sorry, sis. I got to put you on hold. There's a disruption there. I don't know if it's our thing, even though our thing is running fine. So I'm going to place you on hold. Yes, women are losing. And then they're looking at everything else outside of them saying, well, it's because black men only want white women. And no. Men are in a what you would call a spiritually evolutionary stage now, because it comes down to self-preservation. If we don't stop this bleeding and what's going on with our communities, there'll be none left. So there's no time to play around with this anymore. There's no time with it. You're going to find yourself alone with an alter ego that's going to drag you to hell. The alter ego you created is a spirit from somewhere. You think it's just you putting on the hair and all that. It's a whole community of service to Satan. And if the prophets don't talk about it, if the teachers don't talk about it, who will? And this is why Jezebel needed the prophets dead. Now, I don't want to digress into Neverland, right? Because I have a lot to do in preparation for tomorrow. So I'm going to take a few more calls, but I want to hear your input. 901 area code 901. 901. Hello?
Hello?
You're live. 901 area code.
Yes, hello?
You're live.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes. What you have, sister?
What do I have? Well, Miss Taurus, and I'm 41 years old. And in the past, affected by the Jezebel spirit, and it comes from being raised by women.
Sister, because this is something that's hidden in our communities also. I think this thing been going on for a long time, and it's been concealed in our community. The jailhouse activity amongst our community, where young girls are actually being pulled into certain behaviors through these butch type women raping them. How old? Okay. How old were you when this happened?
Most definitely.
How old were you when this happened?
I guess around. My father, he was military. My mother.
Hey, sister, listen to me.
My father.
Sister, listen to
like
me.
18 years old.
Sister, for the sake of the broadcast, just answer directly. I don't mean to disrespect you, but we have a lot of calls.
Okay.
So I need you to answer directly my calls because we're edifying. We don't go down the whole digression. We understand what happened. How old were you when this happened?
I said about 10 years old.
10 years old.
10 years old.
So women of the other persuasion took advantage of a 10-year-old girl.
Right. By saying things like, well, I had a lot of women in my family that didn't get married. It was like 8 sisters, but it's only 2 other sisters that got married. It was my mother and another one of my own aunts. They got married, but and they spoke as in the around us. So you become educated. You live on your own. You don't tell you what to do instead of teaching us the way the Bible says.
All right, sister, focus. Sister, hold up, sister. You're going to digress into other things. So just answer my question so that we can edify for a clear broadcast. Okay, just follow me here. Don't worry about it. You were 10 years old. There was women around you who influenced this behavior that was going on, which was the alternative lifestyle. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Now, eventually, you have children of your own, correct? Okay. I'm sorry, folks. This audio isn't working out correctly.
We're sisters and ducks.
Okay. So,
we are in the duck.
All right. Let me ask you this, sister. Two things. Where were your parents?
Mm-hmm.
Where were your parents when grown lesbians were taking advantage of you? Where were they? Okay, let's go to the next call. Her call dropped. Woo! I didn't know this. The spirit of Jezebel was going to reveal all the other spirits that have been attacking our sisters in the community. And you know what? The reason why this particular broadcast is a breakthrough, because these are the things sisters were ashamed to talk about for years and have hid. And the Bible says, confess your faults one for another so that you can be healed. Let's get it. So that you can be healed. And yeah, and I believe, and I have to make a disclaimer that this content have digressed into a video that should be for mature audiences only. Because, believe it or not, I had no idea that it would pull out the depths of evil that even comes with alternative lifestyles and children actually being abused. But it all encompassed. And unless we address this as a nation, as a people in our communities, we'll never heal. But sisters, if you hear other sisters talking about that, I would rather you keep that going forward for a private conversation in which you can actually send us an email and talk about it, because I don't want someone to hear this and say, okay, let me now turn this into a rape molestation show. Mm-hmm. Because that's actually digressing from the everyday activity that goes on. That's now the conversation is shifting off of what we should be addressing, that what's hidden in plain sight before us daily. Okay. 414 area code. Thank you.
Hi, elders. This is Sister Nicole.
Talk to us, Sister Nicole.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
So I just wanted to say that I think some of the men in our communities promote the Jezebel spirit.
Okay.
It's almost like Jezebel has a counterpart.
Hey, sister, this is what we're not going to do. We're not even going to talk about the men. At all.
So basically, I just wanted to say that I feel like they're attracted to that.
No, here's the key thing you mentioned, sister. I feel. Men. Well, I think it's no. Listen to me, sister. Even before all this weave and all this stuff came out, men were attracted to women, acting out their feelings towards women. So the same things, if not more, was happening even before this happened. So we can't use these. You have men that would sleep with anything. So I think women are equating that with the hair. So let's not go into the men. Let's go into the spirit. Because don't say you're doing this for men. Men don't want it. Talk to a man.
Hasn't been my experience.
Listen, I understand. Let me tell you, everyone have their own unique experience. But when you talk to men in number, they'll tell you, we don't want it. You equated that man being attracted to you with that. But sometimes men can't be honest. If they honest with you, there's more pushback and fights if they tell you, I don't like the way it looked, I don't like the way it smelled, I would rather know who you look like. Because it's not you. It's synthetic, and it came from some place with demons in it to destroy our community. And the spirit of delusion comes with it too.
I don't wear it. I don't practice wearing that. I'm natural.
Oh.
And because of that, I really don't get attention like that. I think that the Jezebel gets, more attention.
Well, sister, you know what? When you do get attention, it's going to be the right attention. That's what you want. You need something that can filter through the people that aren't good for you anyway. And by you being regular, guess what? A lot of heartache is walking right by you. And you know what? Good riddance to good rubbish. Mm-hmm. You should be happy. Listen, you should be happy that they're going right by you. You should be happy.
I'm just upset that it's that many people that's that way.
No, what I'm saying is, sister, be patient. Be right with the Almighty and be patient, because you don't want those men anyway. Okay? Let me place you on hold. Now, why did I say, sister, let's not talk about the men? Because early when we went into the lesson, we said one of the tricks, the deceptive tricks of the succubus or Jezebel, is to say something about a man to deflect from what they're doing. Oh, men want that. No, you got a man right here talking. There's other men. Men talk about things that if we say in front of other women, it would offend them. So some men don't say it to their wives or their girlfriends to avoid the fallout. But when men talk amongst each other, keep in mind that if all women today in our community decided not to wear a weave, marriages would go up. Because you will be all we would have to choose from anyway. So it's not like we're going to be like, no black woman because y'all chose not to have weaves. You've convinced yourself of that. When we've talked with brothers be honest with us about it. They do. They're honest with us, but they can't be honest with you about it. Well, you met me like this. Yeah, but there was other things I liked about you, but I didn't like that. But you can't tell them that. 678 area code.
Hi, Elder. My name is Victoria. I'm 30 and I'm calling from Atlanta.
And Victoria, I'm glad you called, and I'm going to let you say something. But you know what we noticed, though? What I've noticed? No one is actually giving us their take on that bad hair trailer of what they're actually emphasizing and highlighting when it comes to the demonic activity that comes with wearing that. I don't see anyone talking about that. Why? It's not me with a personal pet peeve or nothing. We showed you videos months ago what the Indians are doing, the East Indians, shaving their heads, sacrificing it to the Buddhist temples to sell in our neighborhoods to drive our women crazy. To break up our homes and to destroy our families by sending demons in our communities in the form of hair. Feeding an alter ego, which is succubus and Jezebel. But it's like they would like to skirt around it altogether, not even address that. Why? Tell me, what do you think about that trailer, bad hair?
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's why I was actually calling, to kind of give like my testimony with wearing weave and going from wearing weave all the time to wearing my natural hair. Okay. And taking care of my hair and how long my hair has gotten. But anyway, back to the trailer. I was introduced to the trailer from watching the lessons and watching the podcast that happens on Wednesday, and the depiction of the mindset when you are wearing weave and how it makes you feel, how you feel you know, like a whole nother person that the trailer does, that movie does, is like spot on. It's on point. And so, like, for an example, 10 years ago, my mom had told me, she was like, you know, you need to stop wearing that weave. You need to take care of your hair. You have beautiful hair. You just burning your hair out, or you pulling your hair out from gluing in hair weave or getting the sew-ins. You know, your edges are falling out. Like you said before, earlier in the I'm nervous, but like you said earlier, we create the alopecia. Like, we bring on the alopecia in our hair, and that's exactly what I was doing wearing the weave. But for some reason, when I would get my hair done, I just felt like I was coming into myself. You know, like before when my hair wasn't done, when I was just wearing my natural hair, I just didn't feel like myself. And then when I would go and get the hair weave, I was like, okay, well, you know, I'm that girl, or whatever the case may be. But when I listened to my mom and I stopped putting the weave in, stopped perming my hair all the time, and I just started taking care of it, you know, just washing it, trimming it, doing whatever it is I needed to do to take care of my hair. Now my hair is to the middle of my back, and oftentimes I get asked, am I mixed? Is that my real hair? People want to touch my hair. They don't believe that is my natural hair. But, like, everything you're saying is so true. It's definitely a spirit with wearing the hair weave. And it's so much so to the point where when I put the weave in, I feel like I'm not complete unless I put on lashes, unless I get my eyebrows done, unless, you know, but with my natural hair, I can just go out natural, no makeup, no nothing, and still feel beautiful. And I've even noticed the difference in how people respond to me with the fact that I've taken care of my natural hair and I'm walking around in my natural essence. I'm sorry, this is my daughter in the background.
You know what? All praises be to the Most High, because your daughter is going to learn self-worth and respect the gifts of the Most High. Her natural beauty. All praises be to the Most High, because you've seen both sides of it. At one time, she's seen the other side that says, listen, I did it because when I put this on, I became an entirely different person. I was that girl. Yeah. Demon-possessed Jezebel. I had a confidence that I didn't know existed. An alter ego.
And somebody dropped it in the chat. They said,
yeah.
They said they used to name their weaves.
Hold up.
He said women name their weaves.
They have women who actually put pet names on their weaves. Sisters, brothers, this thing is...
I didn't have a pet name for mine.
Hey, sister, thank you. Let's put that in before we go to the next call here real quick. Thank you for your testimony, because sisters need to hear it from other sisters. It's important, so that they can't think that we're bashing them or looking down on them. But it went out of control. It's to the control that now we're witnessing the spirit and the intent of that spirit since its inception. Because it came in slick. It came in under African braids. Where I seen the advent of weaves when it was just women getting extensions and individuals in African braids. It was covert how they snuck that in on us. But we didn't know that it was going to turn into this. We had no idea that this is where it was going until it was too late. That women was actually putting on another personality. And it was deep, because I knew something was wrong back then when a woman would sit up for 12 hours with two people in their head, going to bobbing and going to sleep and everything, with somebody twisting some stuff in their head, and they there till wee hours in the morning. It wasn't the hairdressers, it was the girl up the street doing it. And she was getting paid. Women were lining up, and I didn't even think anything of it. So it started off with it actually looking like our real hair, like real sisters' hair, but a little longer. That was the bait and switch they did on us. Because to men, it was just a cool African style. That's how it started out, sister. But now it came out the real purpose of this was to get back the hair lost, according to Isaiah the 3rd chapter. And to get a confidence now. And with that confidence, I will be able to do what? Overcome the man. 612 area code, 910 area code.
Shalom, elders.
Shalom. See,
my name is
let me tell you, we brothers, there's an old school term, is we brothers fell for the trick bag. It started off with African braids. They would even have Bantu knots with it and all that. And it looked all African, it looked black. That's how then slowly it started to morph into something else. Be like, well, hold up now. Then they went to the blonde weave. And I'm like, hold up. This is deeper, brothers. Let's take notice of this. It's changing. It's changing now. Is there something with the white woman here? What is this? And if so, it's okay, but be honest about it. Let's go. Go on.
I'm glad you mentioned about the white woman also. The spirit that's in that hair is encouraged also. So in the corporate world, when I didn't have leaving, when I started in a high position, it was expected for me to do my hair. And they use little code words, of we expect you to look professional. And the other directors, they're looking professional with weaves or long hair and things. Pretty much had to take the hint. And this was white corporate and black corporate that expected that look. And so it's like a pressure also that when I looked at the trailer, the corporate woman, the CEO, wherever she is behind the desk, she was putting that pressure on who does your hair. And this is how you're supposed to look. Well, that's a real thing. And the best decision I made coming out of the corporate world was actually to go natural and then eventually put locks. And I know that people have stigmas against locks. They rather wear a wig because they say locks give you alopecia. You take care of your hair like the Most High told you to. My own hair is almost to the end of my back after 5 years. And my scalp is clean and healthy. And my hair, my natural waves go in the front, natural, what they call baby hair or whatever. All that is mine. And when I look back, that I used to pay for that length. All praise to the Most High. But that pressure is real in that scene.
Well, sister, let me tell you about that, because I also worked in the corporate world. And I worked in the corporate world in a time in which the transitioning was going in, it happened with the hair. But sisters, and one thing that's gifted about the sisters here that other nations don't have, they can take some grease in their hair and take a blow dryer and comb their hair straight and style it anywhere they want. It just takes more work. The other nations don't have that luxury. It's like racial envy. It's like racial envy. The black girl want the straight hair, and the white girl want the curly hair. But sisters, if you take care of your hair, it just takes more time. That means you can't be lazy with your hair. See? So I understand what you're saying, the professional part of that, but you can look professional in a corporate setting without weave. It takes more work. That's all. I've seen sisters. Yeah, I've seen sisters put grease. Listen, I know about it. Okay. I have a sister. So one thing I know about a sister, that's why they can't use a corporate pressure as an excuse, because I know it exists. You just have to do what? You have to spend more time on your hair. That's all. You can blow dry your hair, and guess what? You know it's going to sweat out or whatever the case is. It's going to happen. But at least that day you covered it. Or for 2 days, you covered the bill. You produce what the corporate world needed to make your money, to be a helpmeet to your husband, and your temple is healthy because you don't have something over your head destroying your brain. So I understand that. It is more work. See, but it's harder now for women, and I can give this to the women. What makes it harder for the woman now is because even back then when a woman had time to do all that, she had a man in the home that can cover other things. So she had more time for her hair. But now the woman is doing it on her own, taking care of the children, no man around, and all that. So yes, it leaves her less time. But that still goes to the point of what? Fixing our families now so that our daughters don't go through this. Women had more time.
My daughter's hair is natural. My daughter's hair is natural and beautiful, and I'm so thankful that the Most High brought us out of all that because it is a bondage.
Yeah, yes. And you become a slave to it. You understand? Now, what we wanted to do was just to show, thank you, sister. We wanted to show the spirit of what's been attacking our sisters, the things that at the end of their life or when they get older, you know, they begin to highlight and address, and when they get older, they become, you know, depressed because they get older and realize these decisions I made as a young lady have literally destroyed my golden years, the years that I should grow up and grow into elderly with the wisdom to bestow on my daughters. My decisions as a young girl have destroyed me going into my golden years. So now the Most High wants us to identify that spirit to help our daughters, to help our young ladies. Now, it's going to be tough, but conversations like this begins the healing. 281. We'll take 2 more calls and then we'll digress out of here. Shalom. 201. 281. I'm sorry, 281. All right, let's go up here. One more call. Let's see. 954 area code. Shalom.
Hello. Shalom. Shalom, elders. How you doing?
I'm well. And yourself?
Can you hear me? I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question since we're speaking about the Jezebel spirit.
Yes.
Okay, so the question is, if you grew up in a home where your mother, well, you realize now from being into the word that you have a mother that is heavily possessed by the Jezebel spirit and a father that's heavily possessed by the Ahab spirit, what would be your advice to that daughter that wants to follow the Most High and still wants to honor their parents?
The whole thing is the Bible tells us about be all things to all men to gain a few. You have to also honor your mother and father. So the best example you can show them is your example, your walk in newness of life. Because with parents, you'll always be that little baby. The little baby that they change the diapers on. So it's going to be but so much information they'll receive from you, with you being their daughter. The change when it comes to children to parents comes from example. You must live a life of virtue, which will open them up for correction. That's how.
Well, amen to that. But deeper, I want to dive a little bit deeper. So if you're dealing with a mother that is dealing with the Jezebel spirit, because some people are just influenced by it.
Well, give me,
if you really think about the Jezebel spirit, it's controlling.
Sister, give me an action that we can highlight that's Jezebel. What is it? That's ambiguous. When you say in a Jezebel spirit, give us one example of your mother's Jezebel activity, her actions. One example of it.
Well, I am a witness to it, but I don't want to say my mother. Not saying that it is or is not. I just want to speak in general. But let's say a mother who puts down the father in front of you, who pretty much you can never ask your father for anything. You always have to go through your mom. During times where you were almost married, she would say bad things about you to your fiance, just things, and then like cover it up. Because it seems like that spirit is very deceitful and manipulate a lot. So they would come like they're in love and in peace, but then they will shock you by some of the comments they would say that would be opposite from the first image that they would put out to even their children or to new people. That's just their motive, to always come in peace, always come in love, and then they kind of switch faces on you.
Okay, how old are you, sister?
So how do you deal with me? I'm 34.
Okay, you're 34 years old. Okay, what you have is what you would call an overbearing, controlling mother, right? Or you don't want to put it out there. It's just, you can speak in ambiguous terms. So there's a woman who's overbearing and have emasculated her man. And through that controlling spirit, which is Jezebel, because she was able to capture a full-grown, strong man and have him do her bidding, she feels empowered to do this to anyone she comes in contact with, because this man haven't put her in order. So what you must do, sister, is understand the danger of this and guard your family from that behavior, but still allow your family to benefit from what she has to bring as a mother or a grandmother. You have to set the boundaries on those relationships. You have to set the boundaries. Yes, my children has to have a relationship with my grandparents, but mom, let's have a conversation. These are the things. I'm not going to continue the curse I've learned. I'm not going to continue it, and I'm not going to have that taught to my children. You don't got to put it in that way, but just say, here's the rules when it comes to my family. I love you, but these are the things that I can't allow to affect my children, because I'm going to submit to my husband. And I want my children to learn what a healthy, traditional family looks like. So if you're going to be overbearing to a degree in which it affects my family, I'm going to have to ration or minimize how much you can have access to them, because I'm not going to be teaching them one thing and you're going to be teaching them another. So, sister, you're just going to have to set the boundaries. You're grown. You're going to still show your love towards your mother with boundaries. That sickness of Jezebel emasculating a man cannot be seen, especially it cannot be seen by your young men, by your sons. They cannot witness. They have to.
Thanks, Elder. And I know that's like a heavy topic to really go deep into. But thanks for shedding some light in that situation.
Set the boundaries. You know what you're dealing with, and some people are set in their ways. Mm-hmm. They're set in their ways. You have to make sure your daughters don't witness that foolishness, and above all, your sons cannot see that. A man that has been feminized. He's just there as a prop. No.
Really sad, and I didn't really notice it as much until I came to the truth.
Well,
really sad.
It is, but this is what happens when you allow Jezebel to run unchallenged. Mm-hmm. Thank you, sister.
The lady I'm speaking of, she's done it inside the church because she's Christian. She does it inside the church too, and try to, take the role inside the church. So I remember when I was a child that
sister, I have to go. Sister, I do have to go. Sister, I got one more call. I got your point, but I understand. But I apologize, but I go to the next call. Okay.
Listen, I appreciate it.
You
Shalom,
are.
Elder.
All right. Now, and I'll say this in particular, okay? Of course, she'll do it everywhere. Doesn't matter. These are the women that are running the church. And the churches are destroyed because of them. She'll do it everywhere. Why? Because she hasn't been checked in the home. Okay? That man a long time ago was supposed to stand up and say, well, listen, it's my way or the door. Because I don't know too many men out here that's going to put up with you. So, hey, he get what he want. That's what he got. And some women just get men, and this man, a man just become the worker and the pet. That's what he becomes. He brings in the money, and she sit down over there, lay down, sit down. Okay, today let's do love. He becomes the pet, and she thinks she can carry that mess beyond the doors. It doesn't work like that in the real world. And there's only certain men they can get to be like that. Last call, 816 area code.
Okay, I know how to pray. I just don't like the way. Look, don't tell me you don't know how to pray.
Okay. Okay, you slow your blow. Let's get one more here. That's what we said coming up, Elder Lawya. You slow your blow, young man. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to. Let's go back. Let's see who we're gonna end it with. Okay, let's get 919 because I said I would go back to the brother. All right. I said I would go back to him. He patiently waited, so I'll go back. Where's 919 at? You see him, Elder Lawya?
Maybe at the bottom. Sometimes they put him at the bottom.
No, he's up here. 9. There he is right here. Yeah. 919 area code. Brother,
Elder, thanks for taking my call.
Shalom, and thank you for patiently waiting. Thank you for patiently waiting, but I didn't want to put you before the sisters. All right, go on.
No. Topic strikes deep. I mean, deep inside regarding the Jezebel. I'll make a long story short. You know, this society, especially amongst us, black people, the strong, educated woman is what we're programmed to desire. And I actually got one. I married a sister. She had a PhD in chemistry. She was an AKA. She was a high achiever, right? So, you know, that's something, you know, that's how I desire upon. And guess what? Everything you were saying, you know, it's true. She brought me to the Christian church. You know, I would do all the Christian holidays and, you know, partake in all the madness, not knowing. And I discovered you brothers, right? And when I discovered you brothers, it's like, man, my whole world. And I was having problems before, but I didn't understand that I had a Jezebel. I didn't understand his spirit. I was thinking, oh, strong woman. But when I found you brothers, and I'll tell you something funny, now I'm going to cut it short because I know, you know, but when you brothers was in Europe, right? And I would get up early in the morning and watch you brothers. And she could understand that. Like what, you know, you get up early in the morning, you in a coat. And she would see Lawya, oh, look at his lips. Big lips. I said, no, listen to the brother. Listen to what he's saying.
Look at Lawya's big lips.
You know, and this, look at Lawya's lips. Look at those big lips. But as this spirit brought out, let me tell you something. I wasn't raised in an abusive household. I don't know nothing about being abusive towards a woman. This woman's spirit used to drive me to utter madness, and I started to lay hands because I started to learn to try to, you know, assort my you know, being a man, and she wouldn't allow me to do it.
Oh, brother, you talking about you laying hands? You talking about hitting on a woman?
Not laying hands like for say like punch you with my fist, but like, you know, grabbing, like, you know, just like not to the point where you think like just steadily, just upright beating them. But just, I was out of line there. I'm not justifying it, but I'm just saying that.
Hey, brother, hold up, brother. Don't make me regret taking this call. Because what's going to happen is if we leave it with what you're bringing, everything that's taught will be undone. Okay, that's not talking about you laying hands on a woman, because the excuse is this is the way we are because of dudes like you just let on this phone call. So I need you to okay. This is what I need you to divest. What I need you to do is to get back into the line of this conversation, because it's there's no excuse for we have to do a show on you. But go on.
I just really want to draw my experience on being with such a wicked woman that hates the Most High and hates His prophets, and it's everything you say hit home. So but I'll stop my experiences. But they will bring the worst out of a man. I'll leave it at that. Shalom, brother. You're doing a good job. Great topic. I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the chest. Did you see the thing?
Lord have mercy. Woo! Okay. Here's another scripture. And this is going to hit home. Brothers. The portion of a wicked woman is given to a wicked man. Last call. 347. Last call. Let's see. There it is. Shalom.
Shalom, brother. Great lesson, and thank you for taking our call.
Let's get that the portion of a wicked woman is given to a wicked man. Let's get that chapter and verse. Last call. Go on. It's in the Apocrypha.
Sir, just have a quick question. Can a sister be more like Christ instead of Sarah? And did Christ release sisters from the curse of their desire being to their husband?
Okay. Good question. The first question is, Christ set up who? The disciples, right? Correct?
Yes, sir.
And the disciples wrote in the epistles that the women should follow the path of Sarah. She was the example of faith according to Christ. So if she's walking in the spirit of Sarah when it comes to her relations with her husband, that's her in the spirit of Christ. See, and I wanted to highlight that because too many times we see, especially women in the church, brother, is out there claiming what? You got it. It says Sirach 26 and 23. Yeah. They're claiming what? I have a relationship. Christ is my God. I got a relationship with Christ. He's my husband. And they use that and be like, well, no, your husband is according to what? Abraham, the father of faith. That's your husband. So you must walk in the spirit of Sarah. And some might ask, well, suppose I don't have a husband. Well, that's good too. Sarah was in this earth before she was given to Abraham. She was raised to be a wife to the faithful. So we can't go there. I mean, Sarah and Abraham weren't born out of the same womb. Literally, they didn't come out of the same stomach. So she was raised in the faith to be that wife of Abraham. Okay? Now, what was your last piece again?
The last piece was, did Christ release sisters of the curse of their desire being to their husband?
No. What happens is Christ doesn't release it. Christ confirmed that law. Okay? And the whole thing is, people look at that as a curse. No, the Most High was putting it back in order. She was meant to be a helpmeet to him in the beginning. It was her partaking of the fruit, gaining more knowledge than him, that had her empower herself over him and to influence him to go against God. So that's not a curse when her desire should be unto a husband. That's the Most High putting it back in order. That she need to check with him first before she make decisions. She used to respect him as Lord on earth before making decisions and going outside of the protection of the home to get advice, to do this and to do that, like Eve did, and through that, death entered into the earth. So in simple terms, and I'm going to put you on hold, in simple terms, follow your man. Now what we hear, well, suppose he this, suppose he that. Suppose he, if he's all that, why did you choose him again? Why are you with him? So don't come with, well, a man got to be this and got to be that, and this is why I'm not in order with him. Well, when it comes to submission, folks, real quick, when it comes to the act of two flesh becoming one, guess what? There's no higher level of submission than that. That's why it's called submission. So if you can submit that way, you can submit all the way. Let's read it.
Sirach chapter 26 verse 23.
Come on.
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
Read it again.
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
Come on.
But a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord.
But a godly woman is given to a man that fear God. Because a godly man is not going to put up with a Jezebel. She's on the clock. Like, you're going to change, or you're going to take that attitude someplace else. With that, I'm going to say shalom. May the Most High be with you, and please, Lord, in the Spirit of Christ, spare us, save us, especially our young daughters, from the spirit of Jezebel. The virtuous and righteous woman will receive the kingdom of heaven. But the spirit of Jezebel is from hell, and you virtuous sisters, separate yourself from that spirit. It's a strong spirit of influence. Don't let them, no longer will our sisters let that demon influence them. Shalom.
Shalom.
That concludes our broadcast. And may the Most High be with you. We'll see you in the academy tomorrow. That's right, the Hebrew and Bible Academy, the promises of Abraham. Shalom. To Zion. I was lost, but now I'm found. I'm a child of Israel.